Hi guys, hope you're well. This is a reaction to Venom, The Last Dance. That was Carnage, by the way. Let There Be Carnage. The thing I like about the Venom sort of franchise and all of the kind of symbiotes is they have enormous, long, fleshy tongues. It's just kind of filthy, really, isn't it? Anyway, this is the latest, the final. They're saying it's the final iteration of Venom with Tom Hardy starring. This is Marvel. There's that feeling, isn't there, now with any kind of superhero, not even superhero, but comic book film, that it's just not going to do the business that it did in the past. There's even a feeling, I hate to say it, I hate to admit it, I hate to court it, there isn't even as much excitement around Joker 2. What's happened? Hollywood has just literally rinsed it all dry. And for me, Venom has always been what I would call on the cheap end. And I don't mean that as in a negative necessarily. Cheap and cheerful. It's part of the cheap and cheerful end of sort of comic book superhero franchisey type films. The first film, incredibly short, reasonably effective, you know, did its job. Sort of like B-movie-esque, sort of, whereas the Avengers is sort of, prestige. The Venom films are kind of B-movie. They sit within the Spider-Man kind of part of the Venn diagram. And Tom Hardy obviously plays Eddie Brock with his symbiote version of himself, Venom. The thing I like most about the whole Venom thing is the schizophrenia, is the voice in his head, is the split personality, and in that, the split and divergent and competing agency that each part of him has, i.e. he wants to do one thing and he's tugged in the opposite direction to do something else. So there's all that sort of, that thing I think is a really rich part of comics. And I think I've got this horrible feeling that in the world of comic books and in the creation of superheroes, supervillains, anti-heroes, all these characters, there are so many nuanced, really philosophical, thoughtful aspects to all of their kind of characters. And some of these films throw all that away in pursuit of just kind of smash 'em up CGI action scenes. And one of my issues a little bit with Venom is I think the design of Venom is sensational. I think the design of things like Carnage is fantastic. I think, it's brilliant. It's all great design. But in a weird way, it loses kind of impact because it's so obviously CGI'd. I mean, and you can only achieve it with CGI. I mean, practical effects would be impractical with something as complicated as this. But sometimes I wonder whether that's where the filmmakers need to be a bit cleverer. Maybe don't go for such complex kind of iterations of them. So anyway, for me, Venom is always at its best when really we're just sitting with Tom Hardy and he's got his inner monologue and he's fighting with himself and all that kind of stuff. I find the storylines a bit predictable, but as I say, they're cheap and cheerful and they're kind of punchy and efficient. And they're quite enjoyable. I preferred Venom 1, the first Venom, to the second Venom. I didn't think the second Venom had Woody Harrelson in it, didn't it? As Carnage. Didn't really gel together. But this last one, directed by Kelly Marcel, who scripted and storied the others, there's nothing to lose here, really, because insofar as, they could make quite a sort of memorable outro for Tom Hardy and Venom, maybe, who knows. What is interesting in this is alongside Tom Hardy, there is Chiwetel Ejiofor. He's in there, but also Juno Temple is in there. We're particular fans of her from Fargo. Sort of batshit crazy sort of personality and actress. Makes interesting choices. And then, of course, Rhys Ifans is in here somewhere too, hidden in some capacity. So anyway, without further ado, let's check this out. This is Venom, The Last Dance. And I'm quite liking the first shot, which I've already kind of got an inkling of because I'm looking at a screenshot here. And it's kind of, I think this is a kind of nod to and a jokey little kind of maybe fingers up at the idea that everyone's had that perhaps Tom Hardy would make a great James Bond.
Eddie, I'm with you to the end.
This is your captain speaking. If
Hello.
you look out to your left, you'll see a beautiful view of the Grand Canyon.
Told you we could fly!
Oh, they're so close, dude!
Jesus Christ! Fermentation! We're not going to like this.
No, I can absolutely guarantee you I'm gonna.
My home has found us.
Who sent that thing?
My creator.
Of course.
The symbiotes didn't come here by accident. They were running.
From what?
What's his name then?
No! No! We have something he needs. As long as Venom lives, everything will end.
What are we doing?
We need a disguise.
Hey, man.
Whoa.
Why do you keep knocking people out? What is wrong with you?
I'm sorry.
Oh, baby, it's a while.
We've come a long way, you and me. But we are strong.
This world can't survive if you stay together.
But I need him.
You're bad people. There we are.
Always remember you.
There comes a time in every man's life where you have to make a sacrifice.
Eddie, I'm with you to the end.
Always remember you.
Oh, this is all the money that we have.
What is this feeling? It's like
This feeling?
It's like all of my problems have gone away.
I think you broke my foot.
Eddie, I need more money.
That was the funniest part of the whole trailer. What is this feeling as he's becoming an obsessive, addictive gambler, Venom? It's taking all my feelings away. I like that. That was funny. That was clever. A little bit of kind of 12-stepness in there. Very smart. Obviously, Venom's world coming to this world. Stephen Graham in there. I seem to remember Stephen Graham sort of running around in one of the other films. I wasn't entirely convinced by him in those other films too. That wonderful moment where you've kind of got the sort of Venom kind of, what do you call these bits? What do you call these? What are these in the world of kind of super? What do you call that? Sort of like a tendril or a sort of claw or a, what is it? A crab claw? The moment they're touching it was a bit like sort of. It was like God and Jesus, is it God and Jesus and Michelangelo's Sistine Chapel and all that kind of stuff. I thought that was neat. That was kind of nice. Juno Temple in there, quite functional, you know, as a kind of, you know, as a professor, if you like. Rhys Ifans. I mean, what better role for Rhys Ifans? Two of his best roles. Actually, he's fantastic in House of the Dragon, which begs the question, why did they fucking remove him halfway through the fucking series? He was brilliant as Rasputin in The Last The Kingsman. Sensational. Check it out just for his dancing fighting scene. And in this, he's a hippie in a VW camper van. I mean, that's him, innit? You just want to get baked with the Rhys. A lot of special effects. I was almost getting sort of Nope vibes from the kind of horse moment where he touches the horse and then Venom goes into the horse. Obviously, a horse with an enormously long tongue makes you wonder whether anything else has got extraordinarily long, because let's face it, all these bits are quite long, aren't they, with Venom and Carnage and symbiotes. I struggle to engage with the bits where it's all the big monsters landing on airplanes, always on the top of a building, a la King Kong, and all that sort of smash 'em up stuff. It doesn't even engage me in a sort of, even in the terms of, oh wow, what a spectacular battle or anything like that. So that leaves me cold. I do like all the stuff with him. I love all the kind of jokiness between him and what was the liquid on the floor? Did the man wet himself before he hit him? That was a bit strange, wasn't it? I like Tom Hardy looking out of control because we've seen him in so many roles like The Krays and even in things like Peaky Blinders where he's the guy who's going to take your head off. And of course he's going to take your head off in this, but he's not responsible for it. And so he's kind of erstwhile. He's kind of hapless. He's kind of not really as macho as he's perhaps letting on. So I like all of that. But as I say, I find all the symbiote tech and CGI, whilst you look at the freeze frames, it's beautiful in many regards and it's complex, but it hits you so fast, you don't almost get a chance to kind of marvel in it, no pun intended. You don't get a chance to sort of relish it, if you know what I mean. So yeah, you know, the hand of Christ, the hand of God, the touching of the fingers, the end of the world, the last dance. Is it the last dance? Is that Cat Stevens? Is that song Cat Stevens? Am I getting that wrong? Oh baby, maybe it's a wild world. Anyway, I think that looks great. I think it looks better than number 2, and I'm in for a bit of B-movie jab of heroin in the eyeball.